line. Hey, the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light.
Bright lights, bright skies. Well, maybe not so much tonight, but under the weather here in Richmond, Virginia, Richmond Raceway shines brighter than them all. Hi everyone, I am Crusader Christian Shire, joining you guys here today. Here as we get prepared for our GMG Fast and Fun Truck League division now, coming to you live here, presented in part by our good friends over at Green Mountain Grills. They're the best wood-fired pellet grills on the market, the only brand and name you can trust in, Green Mountain Grills. Be sure to visit them up on their website, greenmountaingrills.com, to get your latest info and all that. As we set to go for this race today on the 3/4 mile long track, let's take a look at our starting lineup. Your number 1 seed today is Kevin Kircher, and the number 91 is outside Nathan Meyer, the number 24. Row number 2 is Christian Wilcox, the 53 is outside Richard Fornshell in the 90. Row 3 sees Dan, the Manstarter, and the 14 is outside the 31, Brock Whitehead. Row 4, it's Tyler Meeks, the 35 is outside the 29, William Mann Jr. Row number 5 is going to be James Harris, piloting in the number 30, piloting up today. And his number 55 is outside, pilots up with Russ Kilgore in the 2. Row 6 is Michael Potter in the 84 is outside Caleb Forsythe and the number 76. In row number 7, Jason Taylor will be in the 15s outside Kevin Ward in the 112. Row number 8, Jessica Childs in the 19s, her outside Brad Patton the 1. Row 9 will be Eli Childs doing some race control with Robert Wynn, the 16. And final starters, Charles White in the 51 and Robert Wynn Jr. in the 89. This field is set in motion and ready to bring down the hammer here at Richmond Raceway. Let's get down to it. Here we go. First time we have seen the factory Kennedy Curb Records number 91 of Kevin Kircher be able to get the starting lineup here in the fastest time here. Pretty impressive stuff for him. We'll see if he can use that to his advantage and strike hard while he can. He's got a great deal of racing in his blood from the Nashville Fairground Speedway. And Richmond Raceway, to be honest with you, nothing like Nashville, but it's very similar in the fact that it's a short track. That could be a key factor here today as our drivers prepare off for the start here, running them down off the track here, down to the start here at Richmond. Green flag high in the air, we're underway. Let's barrel them down through the first set of corners. Out of the gate, Kevin Kirscher has the early lead. No surprise here, Christian Wilcox though. Oh, wait a minute. He said, hold on just a sec here, my friend. You didn't think I wasn't going to go in that quickly, did you? The Allegiant number 53 now brings it up to the air, up to the skies. Wilcox takes the race lead for the first time today. Strong start out of the boys here. He got a little bit of wibbling and wobbling. 3 wide saluting all around the place here and around the field. The number 1 here, Brad Patton, having a nice little tussle here with the 84 here. Michael Potter, as they continue to drive him hard off and drive him through the fields. Every driver for themselves here in the early going here at Richmond. There are no gimmies here. There are no lineups. There are no driver shots. You better be fighting quick and you better be fighting hard. Trouble down there with the 19, Jessica Childs is the mad number 19 Chevrolet Silverado. Has some problems down there. Charles Whitehead, though, having some problems of his own as well with Kevin Ward and Jason Taylor. Will have the caution fly out for that. We'll take a look at the instant replay here. Take a look at some things here and see what happened exactly to all our drivers here. We'll take a look first at the number 19 of Jessica Childs here, unfortunately having some problems out of the gate here. Looked like maybe just a little bit of that rookie mistake, that rookie style racing here, unfortunately. Catching up to her off turn 4. Definitely a bit of a hard track to master and really to figure out, and that's why there. And then here's what happened to Kevin Ward in the 112. You see right behind him there, looks like Robert Wynn in the 16 goes for a wild little push and shove, and the 15 Ford Performance gets clipped in from Kevin Ward. And there really wasn't much these guys could do, or really what they could bring out of that track zone there, so that will slow everyone back to a crawl and back into play. The field will be set and staged yet again. It's time to take a look down here and have a little call list here. Joining us on the call list on the track here. Let's listen in now as we have our boys here taking to the time, taking to the track. In our 90 today, of course, it is Mr. Richard Fornshell piling it up down today here in his number 90 as he has now joined us here on the call here. And Richard, things have been pretty substantial for you and your crew on the short track side of things, as much as you have the long term. But now a new season has arisen, just only a couple races in. I got to ask you, how you feeling so far? Hold on, let's see if we can get a call in here now. Richard, can you hear us? No, I guess really he cannot hear us down there, so maybe a little bit too busy down there. Maybe having to listen in on some things. See if we can talk with Brock Whitehead, though. Maybe he'll have a little chit chat for us here. Maybe he'll be able to hear us okay, or he'll like to talk with us. Brock, you got a copy?
Yes, I got you.
All right, he's got a copy here, so we'll listen in with him here. Brock, right out of the gate here, had to qualify in the top 5, top 6 region with a 6th place spot, but unfortunately, kind of having to go throw down a few spots here. Does the track get a little too loose and squirrely for you in the Pennzoil 31?
Yeah, I'm just taking her easy here, trying to save the tires just in case we get a long run. The rear tires are a little slick on the early run, so gotta wait from the get grip, and maybe we can work our way forward against the guys that burn them up too early.
How often do you think some of these guys will be burning them up too early? Because it seems like a lot of them try to play out the strategies differently from everyone else.
Oh yeah, if they yeah, you burning them up all kinds of ways, sending them into the turn, just spinning the tires on the restart, and a bunch of others. So I don't know how often, because I don't know how often we'll get cautions, but I'll try and figure that out for you.
For sure there. All right, well, Brock, we do appreciate your time here, sir. Best of luck as we get you back onto the show and back into the playing field.
Yep, thank you.
Brock Whitehead finally ready to hit it on down and go for there. And Richard just messaged us and said, hey, I heard you, but I guess you couldn't hear me. We'll get him in a minute. Don't worry, we'll return to him when we can. As long as he doesn't get into a wreck this next go around, we'll talk with him after, or he gets end up taking the race lead away. Heavy hitters now up with that 35. Tyler Meeks now onto the flying field and into the show. Looking out of the mad dash here, back onto the field we go. Positioned in for the restart. Drivers now holding them off on the 3/4 mile ends. Into the turns they go. Tyler Meeks right now trying to defend a championship here, to defend a crown that he won back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway last season here. Now trying to see if maybe he can do it again here. But knowing Lee is going to be put into a bit of a rough position, a bit of a rough edge here, considering what type of drivers he's got up ahead of him. As you see guys coming back from the pack here, back up to the front, trying to move their way in. Nathan Meyer right now, the 24 DuPont, trying to get a little bit of a push and a shove up on the 55 here of GMG's James Harris. Factory Canopies, 91 of Kershaw versus the Harris Gaban himself. Harris gone down to the bottom lane, makes a big move off, now charges straight down low, sends it where it needs to go. And this is exactly the kind of playing field I think Harris thrives in. He likes this long run race rise, and as I say that, I might have just jinxed it down there. Rod Baker's number 2 F-150 has come to a stop here on the back straightaway yet again. The caution flies. We're back to our next caution. And we're going to have to take a look at the PTM replay and see what happened here exactly. We do not have the full answers on that one. Looked like he shifted down a little too much there in turn number 1, came through the corner of turn 2, and you can see right here, once you get back into that throttle, man, you've got to either get it up to that wall quickly, or you're going to be in kind of a no man's land right there. That's pretty much the bad spot you don't want to get stuck into. You saw it too, just overdrive, and once you, again, with too much throttle off those exits or too much throttle entering into those turns, it either messes your entire race up or it hurts you. That's why you heard the 31 say earlier, I'm just going to try and last out longer than everybody else, and this is why here. And honestly, this is probably one of the scariest thoughts, is really looking right at your front, right out that window and seeing drivers all over the place coming at you there. I would not envy being in anybody's shoes for that matter, and I've been in their shoes before. It's not a fun thought. Well, he said he couldn't hear us earlier, but he says he can hear us now. Let's see if we put that to the test. Fortune, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you this time.
Hey, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I asked earlier, your season's been off to a pretty decent little start here. Had some pretty decent runs here, but of course we talked about how your short track antics and your speed that round of the 1.5 miles to the 1 3/4 have been well documented and proven. Now this season coming off down to the shorter ends from those 1.5 miles, how does it feel right now to kind of get more speed going?
You know, it's definitely different, especially this past week. I've spent a lot more time practicing for the Cup than I had the trucks, so and they actually drive very differently here. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know, I'm kind of excited. I'm hoping I can, you know, to use these use these tracks, get some good positions going, because it's not been that great for me on the Cup side.
May not been already for the Cup side, but hey, I mean, at the end of the day, you've still got plenty of time to make up for that and really try to put those boys to shame. So, fortunately, we do appreciate your time here, sir.
I appreciate it. Take care.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 90 here coming on board. Natalie Waller joining us in as well, saying instant replay cool. Okay, thank you for coming on board, Natalie, and thanks for the compliment. I'm glad somebody thinks it's cool. That did not take the longest to work on, but it sure was a bit of a tricky one to figure out how we were going to incorporate that one in. So I'm glad it worked out in the end, though, and it looks pretty good, I'll say. Let's go ahead and bring in Brad Patton right now into the call list here, the number 1 driver driving the Mad number 1. And, you know, Patton, last time we saw you with that Mad design, you ended up putting up a heck of a run in a show in Atlanta. coming out with the W and really making some things and some folks turn their heads a little bit. Did you plan to do the same thing here at Richmond?
Yeah, we've got a pretty good fast F-150 Mad truck here. Right now we're just in cruise mode. We're just trying to feel the truck out. The track's getting a little bit hotter, so it's going to be a little bit more slick. So we're going to make some adjustments throughout the race, and we'll see if we can put this thing in victory lane, go 2 for 2 on the season.
With the track slicking up a little bit, I'll ask you this: how difficult does it kind of get to go around those corners, especially turn 2? Because you go from a curved end to that progressive turn to a flat banked end on the back straightaway. How difficult is it to really line that thing up to keep under control?
It's all about your entry, and then obviously it's going to be about your exit. But the entry is very important here. You just want to keep it pretty much centered on the bottom there, and just hope and pray, and not put too much throttle input, and just let her go.
Thank you for your time, Pat, and best of luck on these restarts.
Appreciate it, bud. Thank you.
Patton in the number 1 right now, trying to put some mad love back into the scene. The Mothers Against Drunk Driving machine ready to field down into play. Drivers back off position on turn number 3 and 4. Head them up, down, up on around, down to the crease we go, and let's speed this one up a little bit. It's time to bring the GMGs back to life. Through the corner ends, down the back straightaway we go yet again. Here the 24 of Nathan Meyer right now trying to put some DuPont Chevrolet hat and horsepower into this fight. You know those Chevrolets, man, those are the one things we've always talked about. Those Chevy motors and those Chevy speeds that they bring to the table. But last time we saw any of the racing going down, it was the Toyotas that had the advantage. Only 2 Toyotas are with us today, and one of them is not on the track because they are race control. But for Michael Potter, he is the only Toyota driver today representing here at Richmond. So if there was ever a time he needs to really start making some moves and really make IRL look like the actual thing, he's going to need to really get through this field. But he is right now 11th, qualifying 11th here, so not doing too bad. But you can see already that truck is a little loosey-goosey, wobbly zoned, and can't quite get it to hold the line down on in. Not a matter of his own problem, it's just really a problem of just the entire truck itself. It's so difficult to hold a line in on this end of the track, especially when you're coming off those exits, because all the truck wants to do is just completely swing right and just flip you on by. And speaking of flip you on by here, looks like a little bit of a speed boost coming up through as the 90 of Fornshell loses a little bit in the turn. Here comes the 14 and Dan Starner. And the Rise Nutrition now looking to sneak his way on into the fray, into the battle zone here. As you've seen by his little thing here, he's always a sucker for a good sandwich. Whoa, hold on, Italian sub I should say, but looks like the only thing we got sucker punched in was that one of Brad Patton coming off turn number 2 there. I have no idea where that came from and what happened there, but you know what thing is, we need to take a look at the PTM Racing replay to judge this one. We had a couple cameras on it as this happened. Take a look at the number 1 as he dives it down low on the 91 here at Kersher. Patton made a run here for him off the exit. And slight tap. Ooh, nice save there and a great pass by the 29 of William Mann Jr. Jr. showing some of that man maintenance speed here, looking to try and sneak his way into a possible victory lane trip. And also really to end that darn curse of his. It looks like that 91 of Kersher is not exactly done messing with some of these boys yet. Brock Whitehead in the 31 putting a little fender to him. I'm not sure if Kersher's getting the Chastain treatment down there or what's going on out there, but he is getting bumped and beaten and banged around a little bit here. I have no idea what's going on, but man, he's taking it all for granted here. William Mann also joins us in earlier on. I forgot to mention that. He's saying, hey, Chris, rock on. Thanks, sir. Let's go. Beast William Mann. And he's also saying, Thomas Whitehead saying, get her done there, Brock. Well, he certainly was getting her done just a minute ago with that little push and shoving he had to do on the 91 of Kersher. I'll tell you that much. Still got a lot of laps left here that need to be completed here. Remember, 130 in this Richmond Raceway race. There's a lot of pacing, a lot of struggling and fighting to really find positions and hammer down with. But as we continue on with this race, be sure to keep an eye on things as we go. Race fans, when we come back, the action will continue on and we'll see who can be able to outwit the other It's a battle right now for second as your race leader Christian Wilcox leads this pack. Today's race, ladies and gentlemen, here at Richmond, Virginia's Richmond Raceway has been brought to you in part by Green Mountain Grills. When you guys need the best wood-fired pellet grills on the market, we have only found one brand and name that we've trusted in for this long and so long on the times and zones. And as our good friends with Green Mountain Grills, be sure to visit them up on their website at www.greenmountaingrills.com. And also visit them up their social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get the latest Green Mountain Grills stocked up grill for your next outing and picnic or dinner time and all that. Thank you to Green Mountain Grills for your support. Back to the action right now here. Let's take a look as we got 20 trucks made the field, 18 right now on the lead lap. Kevin Ward in the 112, the only one the lap down at the moment. That might change here in a second as a 19 Jessica Childs gonna get put a lap down. Maybe a bit of a slowdown too here for Christian Wilcox and Nathan Meyer. Wilcox slowed up, entering in turn number 1, trying to avoid that 19. Hey, look at Meyer now, crossing him over down the back straightaway here, throws it straight to the bottom. Here comes some haymakers from Richmond. Meyer's trying to get a run on the bottom. That's usually a good place to do it because you force a driver on the outside, burns their tires up rather quickly. But in this case, Wilcox was able to outmove him on turn number 4 because Meyer got loose. Can't quite hold it down though. Oh, it's still back and forth between these two. Neither driver giving an inch. Tyler Meeks watches on from behind, loving every minute of what he sees. He knows that these guys burn the tires up. He can just go in there and steal it from them. Meeks is trying to hold back, trying to hold the line down. Brad Padden now, even he's starting to intervene a little bit, making a little bit of a charge back into this dash. Your onboard camera here for the battle for the lead. And just like that, Meyer has to kind of give in to Wilcox's demands. Wilcox was able to restructure and get himself squared away. I mean, we've seen earlier as well here at Richmond from the IRL side of things in the Cup division, a last-ditch strategy that was long-term based on from Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick was what got them into victory lane and second place respectively. You heard what Wilcox said earlier. I guarantee you guys like Potter, Starner, Fornshell, Kersher, and all them are probably looking at the big picture here. They're looking at saving the tires and saving fuel up for a little bit of a late run here. Not so much worrying about what's going to go down from this get-go here in this quick little battles and quick little tidbits. I think they're more focused on really the big picture. And as a driver, you have to be. You got to be more stable and more under control so you avoid trouble, so you avoid problems coming off from the ends and coming off from the track side of things, because it's just so unpredictable what you'll get out of these trucks and what you'll get out of these races and these short tracks. It's certainly going to be a bit of a fight and a bit of a fest out here. Now 4 trucks intervening for the race lead here. Tyler Meeks the 35 and the one of Brad Padden now engaging in a hard squabble fight off down into the turns. One wrong move from any of these boys and it could be game over for them. Look out below. Here comes the one of Padden. Got a fitting tribute down there for the Hannah and Cash Child's truck there in the number 1. A big love and support, of course, to our friends dearly missed and beloved here. I know Jessica Child watching on from her truck as well with that same scheme, that same design as well, kind of put up her end. Currently parked down right now. It looks like she might have some mechanical problems out there, unfortunately, so that's a tough break there for the 19. And Jessica, we'll see if, well, hopefully, in due time, though, she gets a little bit more experience and she starts to get a little bit better out on the tracks. I guarantee you, she can get it going. She can figure the stuff out. It just takes time, I feel. Looking on from the back of the pack here, there really isn't a lot of mid-pack guys in this one, although there is one name that usually comes to mind when you see him in that pack, and that's, of course, the second Caleb Forsythe, the NPR driver right now, currently holding up the 13th slot as your battle here for 14 between Jason Taylor and Charles Whitehead. Well, kind of spread out a little bit if you really want to determine that factor, but that doesn't mean that that 51 can't find a way to kind of sneak his way into this fight a little bit. he has speed, and he can definitely run it hard, but I always feel like one of his biggest problems was always trying to get the better of himself rather than letting drivers get the better of him. Not saying that's a bad thing, it's just really the problem is he just struggles a little bit. Believe me though, if I was in his shoes, I probably would too. I honestly am not too thrilled on those big tracks, but these short tracks and these mile-long tracks at the most are really kind of my bread and butter. So I will say right now, kind of what they're doing here, what they're trying to perform, is certainly a bit of a showcase of technicality and technical racing at its finest. The reigning defending champion here in his Allied 35, Tyler Meeks right now, currently holding up in the top 5 slot. Lap traffic here in the 16 and rubber wing going to get in the way. 3 wide salute down to the front straightaway. Nice pass there by Meyer on the outside, trying to hold down Padden, but look at Padden, man, he's not giving it an inch to him. Meyer earlier was doing the same thing to Wilcox, and Meyer, if he does not get to that bottom lane a little sooner rather than later, you know those tires are taking a beating up there just by trying to hold a line up and trying to stay in control. The downside with trying to run middle or the higher ends of this track here is, number one, you lose speed, but number two, it's easy to burn tires up a lot quicker when you're trying to run them harder, because a lot of guys really, they don't have any grip. They have a slick terrain and surface out here that's throwing them for curveballs, throwing them for a bit of a loop, and there's not a whole lot they can really do there. That's your battle for the race lead. Looking on down though, you can see they're coming from the backpack here, the little gap in between. So you see James Harris up there in the 55. Meanwhile, William Mann Jr. has some company in that 31 of Brock Whitehead and the 91 of Kevin Kirscher as he pilots it closer up into the front of the phrase. Still not quite halfway done with this race just yet, but my, has it been something. Jess has now joined us in the comments section here. I believe maybe she would like to. We can bring her in for a little chit chat here. See what happened down there. See if she's okay in that truck, because she did go for quite a ride earlier. William Mann Jr. right now holding his line down, holding his field in play, holding everything under control and pretty much stabilized in. Guys currently struggling to kind of keep up distance, trying to keep up the travel zone. Fornshell showing you exactly why that is still as he continues to fight the truck and fight everything around it. And Dan Starner saw that opportunity, snuck his way on the inside zone there. The 90 has gotten pushed back on the 14, and now Starner has the open leg and has the field in play. Starner trying to keep that rise nutrition in the minds fresh of everyone here. Remember, Starner is a proven commodity. He can race out here with the best, and he has won here in the trucks division before. And who could forget really what could have been his greatest win, really, or tie, whatever you want to call it, ever on PTM Racing TV, when he literally went 1/10,000th of a second faster to the line than Greg Janzik in the Fast and Fun Riley Challenge at Kentucky Speedway long ago. Still, it is still one of our most viewed, it is still one of our most big race moments we've ever witnessed here on PTM Racing TV, and iRacing, for the matter of fact, actually was kind enough to take that clip and put it up on their channel and on their end. And again, to them, we really cannot thank them enough for showing us a little love and some support to the drivers as well. That was definitely something special, to say the least. Side by side battling here right now as the battle comes to fray here. The 53 of Wilcox and the 1 of Padden for the race lead. Wilcox been hanging around there a little too long, Padden feels, so now it's time for him to make his mark. Padden sneak his way in, but look out, the outlay do it right. 35, look for Meeks to sneak his way on by. If he gets that chance, he got a run off there in turn 1, did not connect. Speed wasn't quite there. He had a good lead off and a good charge, but wasn't quite where he needed to be. Charles Whitehead, lap traffic going to be in the wake here just a minute now. So while the drivers continue to fight around the track and fight them in play here, I think it's time we send it on down for a little crank it up action here. You guys watch, we'll listen. Here we go. And just like that, all of a sudden things can change on a dime and change when you least expect it. Tyler Meeks taking over position from Brad Patton here. Scoop and Snoop swooping his way around, takes position over. Pass had been made on lap number 56 here. And a solid move and effort here, but it was not enough to hold back the power and the speed the 35 and the 1 bring to the table. Drivers heading into pit road right now, trying to get a fuel set and a little bit of a tire set on there. Nathan Meyer on the 24 right now, trying to keep up the distance, trying to keep up to the fray with the 53 of Christian Wilcox. See if maybe there's something kind of in his line of sight, something he can make a move and zoom here. DuPont sees an opening, and Meyer trying to get Wilcox yet again. He's been battling him all day long. He has not had a single break whatsoever. I don't know if maybe that's just really a lack of script down from Richmond. I know it's extremely difficult to kind of get a runoff from there, but I mean at the same time, you would think it would help out a little bit to kind of get that little extra boost, that little extra kick down there. But no, it's getting difficult to say the least. Just nearing halfway point though here at the number 2, Russ Kilgore. The Rod Baker Ford F-150 looking to take on the Chevrolet Silverado. Here at Richard Fornshell right now as Fornshell tries to keep himself out of control. I think it's a theory even 90 if I'm reading that right. Maybe theory 11. Producers, give me a camera angle on that one, would you please? Theory 11, that's what it is. Okay, the theory 11 90. Pretty sweet looking ride, I will admit. I kind of get kind of I don't know why. Maybe you guys can criticize me in the comments section, but I get kind of a Roman Gladiator theatrics look with that 90. I don't know. You guys be the judge, because I feel like that's a pretty sweet and unique looking ride, to say the least. I don't know if that's actually from an actual truck or car that was raced out in the world, or what it is, but I'll say this: it's pretty neat. It's pretty sweet looking, if you ask me. Coming up through the ranks right now, every driver for themselves. Dan Starner now fighting it out here with William Mann Jr. Remember, William Mann started back in 8th. He's currently 7th. Starner started in the 5th slot. He moved back to 8th, but now looking to change all that up here. Starner looking for an opening there on the bottom lane here, the 29. Looks like he got a little gravitational pull, a little bit of a runoff here. Found some great speed there here. Whitehead right now looking to maybe sling the shot, throw the fire down into the pits and see what he can put up on the fight end here. The Pennzoil 31 definitely looking pretty solid, but yet to take full control and full advantage here of mistakes being given out. Robert Wynn Jr. into the wall protection right now. Gonna be a little bit of a lap traffic ordeal here for some of these guys. And you can see a lot of them are continuously aiming towards that bottom lane. That's where they have to go to get a runoff, try to get some speed underneath there. But the difficulty is that they know they really don't have many areas or really many shots to hit up from. And Patton will end up in pit road now, so it looks like Wilcox and Meyer will move up one position. Same thing for Kevin Kersher and the rest of our field here. When things start to get kind of winding down here, you'll start to see drivers kind of fade off and fade in a little bit. Some will try to go longer than others. Some will try to go as harder than others here. But remember that this is not a whole halfway race. That speed in those fuel runs were not halfway in, of course, because some of them had to actually go into pit road during that time period, during pit stops. So strategies definitely took a bit of a beating here, took a bit of a chance here. So we'll see if the long runs and then the quick pit stops will work out, as Meyer and Kersher, as well as William Mann Jr. and Brock Whitehead, seem to be up to that strategy here. James Harris now has to find his way around traffic, as now he punches his way around. So right now, William Mann Jr., Nathan Meyer, oh, hold up. We've got a caution out here. Tyler Meeks coming to a stop. 35, I don't know, maybe had a bad pit stop down there on that end, or what happened to the 35 here, but it looks like there might have been a problem down here for him and his crew. Caution had to fly out due to something. We'll take a look here. Presented by Green Mountain Grills. Here is the PTM Instant Replay. Ooh. That's not usually a mistake you see from the 35, but the Ally 35 comes to a spin around here and lost a lot of control off that end. Ooh. Bit of an interesting take there and a bit of a problematic zone there, to say the least. Not sure what exactly went wrong or what went down there, but it looked like tires just overspun, and then you can see he was trying to get some speed coming off the corners here, kind of hang in with these boys, but sometimes that doesn't always work out in your favor, and it looks like that one didn't work out in his favor. So We'll have to see how that one plays out from the long run side of things here. Let's listen now to the 53 of Christian Wilcox. Christian, right out of the gate, man, you pretty much took this one to the haymaker wire and threw everything at everyone, and you managed to hold this truck up for so long. But then you had to deal with the likes of Patton and Meeks and them. What was it like down there dealing with all them?
I have run Richmond a lot this week, and I have found a really good rhythm. I feel confident if this race stays green that I can carry the pace, because once we get to old tires, it's really hard to pass here. So I figured something out. Used to not like this track, but I'm doing pretty good now.
For sure there. Now let's ask this real quick as well. With this now being maybe possibly one of the last cautions, do you have enough in that fuel run and that speed to really make this one break to the end?
Oh yeah, for sure. My tire wear on that 60 lap run wasn't even that bad, so I'm feeling good about tire conservation. So I think we got a truck that can win this race.
Well, you heard her live here from the Legion 53, looking to take a win home and take one for Richmond. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks.
Wilcox right now looking to see maybe if he can hammer this one into victory lane again. This is going to be a very long run ordeal as he seemingly strives and conquers everything he can in his sight. Let's bring in, though, the 55. James Harris now joins me on the line here. And James, a bit of a damaged up on the 55 GMG, but this truck has been pretty much rock solid from most of the day here. What's been going on down, though, in that 55 machine?
Yeah, man, the track temp was a little warmer than what I was anticipating, so our truck wasn't quite there on that first run. And I might have burned my tires up a little bit trying to, make up for my poor qualifying effort. The damage on the sides for Kevin is not hurting us at all, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm more concerned about getting this wave around and having 5-lap older tires the guys behind me. Hopefully be a quick caution. I come in and take some more.
For sure there. Now let's just kind of look at this here as well. I mean, if you can get that opportunity to get the tires and get this truck more dialed up, do you think that you'll be able to kind of get himself maybe into a position to possibly come out and try to charge for the win?
Oh yeah, if I can be in the top 5 or with around 20 laps to go, I'm pretty confident that we can get up there and have something for those boys.
Well, we'll have to find out here in a minute, but nevertheless, Harris, thank you for your time, sir.
All right, man, thanks.
Harris gonna have to get kind of squared off here and get put back around the track. He's gonna have a lot of guys to go around, and he's gonna be trying to put all of his He's gonna try to put all his eggs into that bread basket here as these guys get squared up ready for the action to kick on down again. Coming down to the wire here. We'll have one more lap to go here. Looks like we're going to try to get the lead lap guys back in place, back in position. Looks like a good chunk of them will be in position actually. And it looks like Harris actually is going to get that lucky dog after all. He's going to get pretty lucky here getting put into the top 5 brackets. That caution kind of came out a bit of a wild time while drivers were in pit road. So a lot of guys weren't really expecting it, nor were they really kind of intriguing to get around that one. Wayman Jr. still searching for his first win of the season and overall on PTM Racing TV. Nathan Meyer, the 24, trying to get another win to his resume and the first one of the season. He's got a lot of heavy hitters here, including the second place guy that is looking to try to maybe find himself the ultimate championship run and everything in between. As they fire him off once again here, can Brock Whitehead get himself into victory lane and end out his second place curse? We're about to find out as the green flag flies back on up. The guys are moving the chains on in. Well, despite that little spin there and squabble, looks like the 35 outside of Meeks ain't gonna exactly hold off on anything. Pretty much continue where he left off down there, making sure he can stick with it. Caleb Forsythe and then steady say, looks 31 down. Brock Whitehead has spun up on turn number 2, and looks like my broadcaster curse had to come out eventually. I swear I did not get the voodoo dolls out or anything like that and put a curse on that 31. I swear I am. I swear I am not that one guy from AEW doing it these days. I promise you that much. Let's look at the replay. See if the 31 just overshoots the corner. Yep, there it is right there. He just overshoots it. No damage though. Tires may be a little bit rubbed off, but I think he may have rubbed himself a little bit the wrong way, but I don't think he's going to be too hurt or really hard on the track. Hopefully he can find his momentum, kind of get himself squared away yet again here as we now bring into the call. And the number 14 representing for the Rise Nutrition. It is the 14 Dan Starner now here. Dan, been quite some time since we've really been able to talk with you. Couldn't get a word with you, sir, but nevertheless here, everything has been pretty rock solid as you had a pretty good qualifying time in 5th, and now moving it up just one below that. I gotta say, at the moment, it looks like your long run strategy is paying off, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, just trying to keep it together. I'm not really going too crazy yet, but just trying to keep it safe, keep the car together, and hopefully I can end up at the end where I can make a push.
Indeed, here, my friend. So, as you kind of wear your suit and tie and look all fine and swined here at Richmond, I'll ask you, how is the weather kind of changing down here and really affecting on the track? Because it seems like the sun was kind of fading off, now kind of rising up again. Is it starting to heat up down there?
Yeah, a little bit. I find that the car wants to push a bit more going into the corner, but that also could have just been the tires. I mean, 70 lap runs at this track really isn't that common, so just a lot of different factors making it difficult to drive, but it's fun.
It is indeed. Well, nevertheless, Dan, we do appreciate you coming on board. We'll see how this one ends up being to the end.
Thanks, bud. Take it easy.
You too. Dan Starr, ladies and gentlemen, here, the number 14. Trying to rock solid his way up onto the fight and into the fray. Let's take it down now and talk with one of our other guys here that may have had a bit of a bad luck and a bit of a bad break from the get-go, and that is number 15, Jason Taylor. Taylor, earlier on, the Ford Performance machine got kind of clipped, kind of sent for a really wall-righted little aggravated shot there, but now that everything is kind of squared up and ready to ship back into place, do you think maybe there is something left in this 15 to kind of push up on him?
I don't know about tonight. I'm struggling a little bit. This thing's like just being in an ice skating rink, to be honest with you. This has never really been a great track for me, so I don't know. Hopefully if these guys get to race and get in some trouble, I might can pick up some spots, but I don't know what I'm missing here, but I'm missing something.
Well, you may be missing something right now on the track, but we sure are not missing you anytime soon. We really love having you coming on board when you can and seeing you out on the track here. But nevertheless, Jason, we'll see what happens here as we get back to the race run here. Best of luck down there, bud.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Jason Taylor, number 15, you can hear in his voice too. He is not too thrilled right now with how things are going out on the track and how things are playing in. But when we would come back, we're about to find out who has the strongest and the baddest of them all. This one comes to the wire when we return. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in part by Green Mountain Grills. When you guys need the best wood-fired pellet grills in the market, there's only been one brand name that we've trusted in for so long, and that is our good friends over in the Green Mountain Grills side of things. Be sure to check them out on their website at www.greenmountaingrills.com, and also check them out on those social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Big thank you again to Green Mountain Grills for everything this season. Here we go now, back to the green, back to the lights, fire them on down, and let's head it up again, boys. We've got 41 laps left in this one, and at the moment, Nathan Meyer is your race leader. Whoa, a little trouble down there for Richard Fortshell, though, kind of getting jumped on from turn 2 from that 3 wide salute. Now managing their way through the field here. Brad Patton trying to get up there with Nathan Meyer. William Ann Jr. trying to perform a bit of a different strategy. Whoa! Tyler Meeks, though, got clipped, snipped, and thrown out of the track here. I don't know. Maybe he got a little love tap there from one of the boys. I couldn't quite tell from that angle. I think you guys could probably tell a lot better than I did there, but man, he sure got kind of sent on around, set back way so many positions. That's the problem with short track racing sometimes. Once you get that bump, get that kind of clip, then guys will just move you out of the way and you get further and further into the long run and more into the bad runs here. Nathan Meyer in the 24 and Brad Patton now looking to maybe obligate and strive to conquer here. Anybody's ideals and anybody's plan, its tack and strategy here will be the way to win this race out. Patton right now diving in deep, looking to make it stick, trying to find some speed under the hood. Christian Wilcox, William Mann Jr. holding it out in the other bracket of the top 5. Dan Starner, the last of the top 5 drivers with James Harris coming up into the ranks and into the fight. And that 55 Green Mountain Grills machine has been just rock solid from the course of the start and the word go when it came to getting it past that qualifying lap here. But at the same time, man, really in the race, that's what it all boils down to. Qualifying is only one part of the puzzle. You even seen Kevin Kirschner, who's in 7th right now. He's struggling to get back into that race lead, and he's going to be struggling a little bit more now because that little whip top guy whiplashed it off turn 2. Here comes Meeks to the bottom, sneaks his way in. Now the 35 Ally makes that factory Canopy curb records 91. Pay for that one. And Michael Potter now looks like he's finally starting to come alive here in the 84. I was expecting more out of that Toyota Tundra today, to be honest with you. Potter's not a guy that can give out so easily. I know he's not going to give up till he takes down that CLM movement man himself. Just good, hard-fought racing between all ends of the spectrum and every single one of these drivers out here. And that's exactly what you come to expect and what you come to notice here on PTM Racing TV between the Green Mountain Grills and the Fast and Fun Truck Series. Or even when we'll see tomorrow night. Oh, with the Champion Power Equipment Fast and Fun Cup Series. Problem down there though for Kilgore. Almost sent straight into the wall, then down into the grassy plains to open his own lawn care service up. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. He didn't have to go find another job here. That Colt 45 76's Caleb Forsythe right now. Major damage on that right side. I gotta believe that's affecting a little bit of that aerodynamics of the truck. Knowing he's gonna have a little bit of a tougher time kind of pushing through and kind of push to shove to get this one going a little more. We have 31 laps remaining. Meyer, though, is not making it easy on himself. That doesn't make it any easier when Patton sneaks his way around. Overshot the corner, turn 4. Patton steals it from him yet again. Now it's time for the Mad 1 F-150 to get this one into his zone, his wheelhouse. Meyer, though, he's a tenacious one, isn't he? He doesn't quit. He forces the one a little higher up, but he has to stay low to the bottom. He can't get the runoff off the exits. Remember, if you're on the outside, you have the speed and control to get to the wall, which is where that runoff of turn 4 is going to give you the most speed. The quicker you can shoot it up to that curved edges of the front straightaway of the progressive turn banking, the faster your car or truck will become. Meyer knows this. He's got to be careful here. That's why a lot of guys, you see him usually trying to make a pass around here. Well, let's just say they kind of have a Kyle Busch mentality, or they have even Carl Edwards using a Busch style on them. At the end of the day, though, I always said in short track racing, it'll all even itself out in due time. Benzoil 31 of Brock Whitehead now coming right up through the ranks into the 14 of Dan Starner. That Fry's Nutrition trying to hold off that 91 Factory Canopies machine here as these guys are just dead even with each other. The Benzoil 31 looking for an opening on the inside line, trying to make a charge off on that 14 Rise Nutrition machine. Both drivers literally giving it their heart, giving it their all, just to outplay the other here as they continue on with this race. You can just get a good look too at how these high bankings here at Richmond make for some interesting race runs and make some interesting battles here. Battle plans are one thing, but it's another to really put them into motion. 26 laps to go. I'm sensing a little bit of a pattern here with Wilcox. Right now, when he went into pit road, his pit road entry was on lap 71. Meyer was at 77. He was a little bit later, but Brandon Patton has lap 70. So if I'm looking at strategies here, I'm thinking Wilcox maybe just a slight bit more conservative, more under the nose and under the radar. James Harris going in at lap 85. His pit lane time, though, was rather interesting, to say the least. He ended up getting in there and actually took fuel and tires. So, the way I'm looking at it here, I'm thinking probably the last 10 laps is when you'll see them really start to straggle this thing up. Patton trying to hold down Meyer. Meyer looking for an opening, anything really to give him a fair shake of things and a little bit of an opportunity to strike. Hey, look at this now. William Mann Jr., the man's maintenance old whiskey, trying to get the old camp whiskey up into the fray yet again. He brews and pours the drinks all over on that 35 from the top side, looking to make his way back into the top 5 brackets. And you can see guys just completely losing these things on the rear ends now on turn 4 as well. Whitehead, Brock that is, in the 31 and the 84, Michael Potter nearly losing it in the corner there, as well as Dan Starner. And a clash of personalities and a style of racing here, mixed in between with some 3 wide salute action right on the edge there. Nice move there by Starner to move it to the bottom and take Hirscher with it. Whitehead gets shuffled back into the fray, but he's not out of this one yet. In Mann's case here, when he went into pit road, it was on lap 77 as well, where most guys went in. So some of these guys are burning up tires and really starting to hurt down here on the track side. They know that their race run is kind of running its course and kind of running closer to the end here. Eddie hopes her chances of really making a big statement or really making a big opportunity to make the best of this enlightenment is starting to fade off sooner rather than later. Yeah, kind of interesting. Whitehead earlier on, oh no, I was just about to say earlier on, had gotten completely loose and spun off on turn 2. Now it seemed like he was going to be, he was starting to load up again here in that 31 to get a move on the 29, but that was a big overshoot there. And again, the reason why a lot of these guys struggle here is because they're really, this track is kind of a no grip zone. There's not a lot of areas to really build speed from. And a lot of times you'll see him just kind of overshoot turns. You'll see him over ramp these trucks around just by simply trying to grip the bottom. You can try to get the outside to go, but there's just nothing there. It's kind of a weird feeling to explain, but Richmond to me has always been kind of one of those tracks that you kind of have to see to believe. I always considered it kind of like an ice skating rink track more than anything. It wasn't a fast-paced track. It wasn't a speedy mile and a half like sometimes you can get those next-gen cars to really put on a show in a wild, chaotic race. This track's more of a kind of a stabilized down and hope for the best kind of racing run. And the two, Russ Gilgore looking to expose that, and then some nearly almost did the bump and run on the 84. Michael Potter. Potter was able to hold him down though. Patton's still holding on to his race lead with Meyer, but Meyer is only about 0.2 of a second away from flipping him up again. And by the way, Patton, he started 16th. He's your number 1 seed. He's the number 1 hard charger right now. He started all the way from 16th. He is in first. So you want to talk about heavy hitters? I think you might have to put his name on the ballot for today. Well, on board for the first time today with Nathan Meyer here. We've got a couple camera angles here with him, as you can see just how much smoother he's got to be with that steering wheel. And again, with that steering wheel, really the biggest thing here at Richmond is all about timing and controlling the front end of the truck. The rear end is kicked out later on here, as now we got problems for Michael Potter. smoke burrowing out of the Halloween 84, and now this could get interesting. 84, Michael Potter here goes for a little bit of a ride, and I don't know, maybe that too did give him the bump and run in turn number 4. Take a look at the replay. Ooh, easy. Oh, that's definitely a bump and run. Russ Kilgore, I think, was trying to back off, but unfortunately Potter did not heed the warning and heed the sign. Drivers are heading for pit road. When we come back, we're going to go commercial free from here on out and see what happens from the end of this. We're concluding this race when we return. Today's race at Richmond Raceway in Richmond, Virginia has been brought to you in part by our friends over at Green Mountain Grills. If you guys need the best wood-fired pellet grills on the market, there has only been one brand and name that we have trusted in for this long and this so time constraints it is. It is Green Mountain Grills, of course. We want to give them a very big thank you from us here at PTM Racing TV, as well as from the Fast and Fun Truck side of things. Again, guys, if you need to get yourself some wood-fired pellet grills on the market, best trust in Green Mountain Grills. Be sure to visit them up on their website at www.greenmountaingrills.com, and also visit them up on their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram handles to see what all they can offer you and their latest deals coming for you on your store. So, right now, from pit road wise, here's how we play this one out. Forsythe, Meyer, Patton, Starner, and Whitehead are your top 5 in the bracket. Meyer got out before Patton here, and that is a huge deal, I guarantee you, for the Meyer camp. Knowing now, with the amount of laps he has left, he might have a chance to knock these guys down a few pegs. Caleb Forsythe right now, to be honest with you, I'm very interested to know about his strategy, because we have not seen that 76 really pull away from these boys to really make a big move off on them in quite some time. His last pit stop was on lap 85, and Meyer, Patton, and them just went at 119. Matter of fact, everybody in that top 13 have been in pit road now, so that is a long length and drought in between, and that is not looking good for Forsythe. Now, I'm not saying Caleb can't find a way to maybe hold these boys off for a time, but I guarantee you, entering in turn 1, if he does not keep that bottom locked up from the 24, that 24 will sneak by him and take it from him. That is how our pit strategies looked right now, and that's how everything kind of came to be. There will be 7 laps to go, so if a caution does come out with it and it turns into a green-white checker scenario, Forsythe may have a chance, but we saw earlier some of these guys will not hesitate to put a bumper to one another. His teammate, Aaron, that too, did so just a minute ago. Square them up, double file them up, flag high in the air, yellow that is. We'll trade it out for the green this next go around. Entering off into 3, down into turn number 4, a pace car will come on by, and this field is ready to get electrified here. The fans are on their feet. Here we go. Let's get back to it. Look at this. Entering in turn 1, nearly a 3 wide salute engaged. Forsythe shifted way back in. That didn't take long there for Meyer to come in and strike. Brock Whitehead seeing he might have a chance, but that's not going to help us cause any big wreck coming off turn number 4. Huge wreck off turn number 4, and what a cluster right off the edge here. Whitehead goes for a wild ride after being clipped around, and the entire field goes for a solid field day into the wreckage zone. Whoo! Oh my goodness, folks. Here's another look at it. Tyler Meeks, you can see just a slight nudge, and he was not getting away there from that. James Harris gets a piece of him, gets kind of clipped in around. And the rest of these guys trying to avoid trouble, trying to avoid any more damage on their trucks, end up kind of getting into a bit of a bad rut there. We'll take a look at two more camera angles. Here is Harris's camera angle, though. He went to the bottom, and you can see Meeks kind of pushed him around. He backs off, not to do too much more damage. But obviously, the damage kind of has been done out on the field here. We'll take one last look at it. Here is the chopper cam of the 35 Tyler Meeks. And looks to me like maybe Meeks didn't do all that. Looked like Wilcox might have had a little something to do with it too. You saw that bumper kind of push him around a little bit. So I think Meeks really was backing off, but Wilcox kind of got him a little too there. So I don't know. That's a bit of a racing trivia question I'll leave to you fans. I'm not going to say either one is at fault. I think that was kind of a racing ordeal. One thing is for sure, there might be an angry Whitehead coming through the field in a minute if he can get his chance. We're not talking with any more of the drivers until this race concludes. By the way, we leave everyone alone when we get to this end here, so be sure to keep that in mind and be ready for this one here. Base car lights still on. Brad Patton, I guarantee you, is just itching and dying to get back on that throttle, back on that speed. We are under a green-white checkered scenario. Now, race fans, this is going to be a very unique ordeal here. A little bit of a strong showing, a little bit of a strong fight off here between these drivers. We're ready to get this one finished away. We're now set in motion for the big finale here. Which one of these drivers will be crowned the big ticket winner, the one that takes home all the glory? We're about to find out. Meyer, Patton, Starner, Harris, Forsythe, they're a top 5. Forsythe right now got shuffled back pretty quickly earlier. Now he's going to have to try to find a way around that mess. To the green flag run, top 5 on your screen. Here we go. Harris has got some damage on that right side, but the front end also took a bit of a clip. How bad does that affect him? We'll have to see in a minute here, because now here comes the one of Brad Patton. The man, the Mothers Against Drunk Driving F-150 swinged to the bottom, but did he get the pass in time before the yellow came out? Yellow was out. Yellow was out. Did he get the yellow? Did he get the run to go quick enough before the caution flew? I don't know where that came from or where the issue started from. There was a caution thrown out here. Looks like, oh, okay. I think we got a good idea where it came from now. Watch Dan Starner in that 14. Well, Harris definitely got a piece of him there. I'll say that much, but a pretty good save there from the 14. Got to give him credit for being able to drive off that as well as he did, but Unfortunately for him, he ends up getting the nose and the bumper and the tag here from the 55. One last look at it. And again, this late in the stage, you really have to take chances, but they only get 2 green-white checkers, so this next one coming up could change everything here. Starner had a great truck and a good little amount of speed to hang with it all day long, but unfortunately, whether it be just the unfortunate issues of this being a green-white checkered scenario, or if it was just kind of doomed to repeat itself, he is going to get put into a very tough spot and angle here. We're going to go one more time around. Florist breaking the motors down. Crazy town all around, and now the biggest moment for these drivers is about to come up here. One last chance. They mess this up, it's over with. We've seen these races end on that old green-white checkered scenario before. That's not something what these guys want. They want to end it on the highest of notes, going to the line with checkers out. I'll ask you guys down below, who do you think it's going to be? Top 10 right now: Wilcox, Whitehead, Taylor, Meeks, Kilgore, Forsythe, Jr., Harris, Meyer, Patton. The stage is set. The obstacles are in their wake. Which one's it going to be? To the green flag restart we go. Great start there for Patton out of the gate. And Harris, look at this, moves the 55 back into second place. Patton might have some company coming his way in a minute. Down across the edges here into the turns they go. Can they keep it clean? Can they get to the white flag? Yes, they will. White flag is out. They get to the finish. They got it. So now we'll finish under checkers. It'll be under the checkered flag we end this race on. Myers trying to hang on. Man Jr. throws the man slam in, though. He throws the haymaker down on the back straightaway. Patton, though, is going to lead this charge into victory lane. Once again, the Mad One takes this to victory lane. And a 4-wide salute to the end for a glorious finish for the top 10. Unreal. Whoa! And a huge wreck, I guess, while we're at it. Ouch! Well, he did say earlier on, he has a feeling this thing could be good enough. He wasn't lying there. Patton is going to be a race winner here at Richmond Raceway. And once again, the same scheme that puts him in victory lane in Atlanta will get him another one here at Richmond Raceway, and a very strong showing for the #1 team and crew. I think he's gonna burn this track to the ground. I think that's his plan now. Race results are now coming in here, ladies and gentlemen. Here, number 1 spot belongs to the number 1. Brad Patton will win this one out. He'll take home that place, but as we go second place to James Harris, third, give the nod to Nathan Meyer, fourth to William Mann Jr. Another strong top 5 showing without a W to his name, but he still pulls off a great one here. Wilcox goes 5th, 6th to Forsyth, 7th to Kilgore, 8th to Starner, 9th to Meeks, 10th to Whitehead. That rounds out your top 10 in this battle of attrition, control, and speed, to say the least. But what a fight and what a race it was, race fans. We'll now be joined by our top guys tonight. Top 3, join me now, ladies and gentlemen. The first up on our roster is the 24, Nathan Meyer in the DuPont Chevrolet. And Nathan, congratulations on this third place finish, sir. And I can guarantee you, looking at the way you came out of that truck, you were a little bit disappointed that it had to go green, white, checkered. You had the long run really ready to go with Patton, didn't you?
Yeah, before that last round of cautions there, I had about a half-second lead, and then I hit the wall, and he got by me. So when the caution came out, I had to take 2 just to get in front of him, or else I wouldn't have been able to. And then 1 too many cautions at the end.
Yeah, it definitely was a bit of a long run and a bit of a deal breaker, unfortunately, with those cautions. But here at Richmond, I know you were really kind of fighting that truck off. What happened there? Came off turn 4, because we saw it too. He clipped the wall, and then Patton just kind of snuck by and took it. What happened on that one?
Yeah, I was just trying to maintain the lead. He's probably a little bit better than me at the short tracks, and I just got on the gas a little too hard, and then at the end there, 2 tires just didn't pay off. It was fun.
It was fun indeed. It was definitely fun to watch you kind of do it out yet again here. So, coming out here with a third place finish, sir. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, thank you guys for putting this on. Green Mountain Grills, of course, and Kevin, all those guys. So, thank you guys.
For sure there. Nathan Meyer, ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher here today. So, Meyer comes away third out of the bunch here. Now we'll go ahead and send it on down to our next driver in line here. Of course, that will be... Oops. Hold on a moment. Well, that will be James Harris now joining us on the line and on the roster here. Ladies and gentlemen, the 55 is back with us. And James, as you come away second place here today, I could see that there was a bit of a hit and run there coming off down from turn number 3 that got that last caution out. But in this case, really from your high side here, did it look like maybe a little bit of too much speed kind of heading in and starting to kind of going to the bottom a little too soon?
Yeah, he took 2 tires on that last stop. I took 4, and you wouldn't think 2 tires would make that much of a difference, but he was pretty slow on entry, and I got a run off of 2 and dove under him going into 3, and he said over comms that he just didn't see me down there, and he come down. But I think it was just a racing deal. It certainly was not on purpose.
Nah, definitely didn't look like it was on purpose, like we may have seen from some bump and runs earlier today. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, still as a driver, I know the second place finish is going to mean a lot for points wise. But as you get further into this season, I guarantee you're hungry for a W, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm ready to get that win. I got a feeling it's going to come here pretty soon. If I could just get Brad to either miss a race or get out of my way for once, because me and him finished 1-2 the first 2 races of the season, but I'll take 2 second places to start it any day.
Absolutely, but nevertheless, so a second place finish yet again. I will ask you this, sir, as usual. Who do you want to thank for this?
Let me thank Green Mountain Grills. They've been my sponsor and the sponsor of the league for almost 2 years now. Kevin Kersher, Blackstone Management, Champion Power Equipment, Allegiant, and Cincinnati.
For sure there. Well, James, congratulations on second place finish again, sir, and we will catch you on by the next time by out, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it.
The 55, James Harris, ladies and gentlemen. He will be the Mad Dash 1 to come up second as your number 1 driver here in the Mad 1. As I just mentioned ago, it will be Brad Patton and another trip to victory lane. Brad, I mentioned it earlier. I said point blank, you got the W at Atlanta in this scheme. Did you have what it takes to get another one in? I think you've answered the question for us here today. Great job, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, I was about to say, if we got it done, this scheme's pretty good luck, and I mean, it seems like Hannah and Cash are just floating with me every race. I love it.
Well, we definitely love to see it. Definitely love to get the feeling and the emotions, the passion you really bring in that truck and on the field. I gotta ask you though, sir. I mean, you had a lot at stake and a lot going down. I mean, for you and your crew, I mean, how difficult was it to kind of get those restarts going perfectly and time up the shots? Because it seemed like this could have gone either way.
Yeah, I told Nathan before that last caution came out. I told him, I was like, good win. I was like, I don't think I have anything for you on these restarts. And then the caution came out. I went and took 4, and he only took 2. And I was like, oh no. I was like, that isn't going to be good for restarts for him. And then Caleb stayed out, and we just got all jumbled. Luckily, I didn't hit Caleb there when he got loose. I missed a shift going into 4th. So, but once I got past Nathan there, I was pretty content on just finishing either first or second. I mean, it was a fun race. It was fun coming through the field, and man, what a blast!
A blast and a fun time indeed. Did you come away with the W? Who do you want to thank for this one?
I'm going to thank you for doing the broadcast. Love chatting with you during the race and everything. I'm going to thank Green Mountain Grills. And then I'm going to thank Mad, of course. And I got to thank Jess and Eli for letting me, run the scheme. And hopefully we can bring it to victory lane again.
We will certainly hope so, and we certainly hope to see more action down on the track with you and the crew. Congratulations on this win yet again, Patton.
Appreciate it. Hey, if you haven't followed yet, make sure you guys go to PTM Racing and go follow.
Appreciate the shout out there. Thank you, Patton, for your time, man.
No problem, brother. Have a good night.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Patton down the number 1 pops away with another victory and another win to his season. As we sign off here at Richmond, thank you again to Green Mountain Grills and the Fast and Fun Truck Series crew for having us come on by, and to you fans out there, as always, thank you so much for your time and support. We'll see you guys next time here on the show, but for now, be safe. God bless. Take care. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. We'll see you with Champion Power Equipment Racing tomorrow.